A hush falls over the opulent rooftop venue perched high above the glittering city lights. Crystal chandeliers throw fractured rainbows across marble floors as elegant guests mingle with champagne flutes in hand. Suddenly, a resounding slap rips through the music and chatter. Evelyn Grant, visibly pregnant, in a soft white evening gown, stands trembling at the center of a curious frozen crowd. One delicate hand is pressed against her cheek, eyes brimming with tears. Across from her, Veronica Lake, poised in a sleek black designer dress, still has her hand raised, fury twisting her features. No explanation, no introduction. Just that stinging echo in the thick night air. Trevor Grant. Evelyn's husband watches with a mixture of dread and guilt. He doesn't rush to defend his wife. Instead, he stands as if rooted to the marble. Tension pulses between the three of them. Evelyn's heartbreak, Veronica's rage, Trevor's silent confusion. A camera flash blinds the group for one agonizing second, capturing the moment forever. Veronica's voice cuts cold as steel. "Don't you dare speak to me like that!" She snarls, manicured nails curling into her palm. Guests edge closer, drawn by the spectacle, some record on their phones thirsting for drama. Evelyn, heart pounding, doesn't crumble yet. "Trevor, say something," she whispers, voice trembling. But Trevor only lowers his gaze, pinned by an invisible weight. Behind them, the city sparkles, indifferent to the raw private pain on display. Veronica sneers, stepping forward. "He won't save you, not anymore." Each word pierces the hush, fueling the crowd's shock. Tears slip down Evelyn's cheeks. Her free hand moves protectively over her rounded belly. She looks so vulnerable, yet there's a flicker of determination in her eyes. This is more than a random outburst. Something monumental has fractured, something that only these three truly understand. In the corner, a figure stands quietly. Logan Parker, a friend of Evelyn's from her old life. He's watching, fists clenched, torn between stepping in or honoring Evelyn's dignity. He senses there's more behind this public disaster than meets the eye. The overhead music fades and a new track begins, ironically upbeat. Onlookers murmur in half-hushed tones. Veronica exhales slowly, trying to calm herself as she stares daggers at Evelyn's wedding band. A single question ripples through the stunned guests. What just happened? Evelyn carefully wipes the tears from her face. She doesn't lash out. She doesn't flee. She only stands tall, shoulders straight, as if bracing for another blow. Then she whispers words too faint for most to catch. This isn't over. As if to confirm her vow, she turns to Trevor with a gaze that shouts betrayal, heartbreak, and a grim resolve. He meets her eyes for a moment. Guilt flickers across his face, then he looks away, letting the moment shatter. No explanation is given. No background is offered, just raw emotion. And with that single explosive confrontation, the stage is set. In the crowd's mind and for everyone watching, one thought takes hold. If this is how it starts, what kind of storm is coming next? Little do they know the real story hasn't even begun. Rewind to 6 months earlier. We see a cozy suburban home, modest yet warm. Morning light streams through the kitchen window. The kettle whistles Evelyn. Her pregnancy, still in its early stages, moves around the table, placing plates for two. There's a simple sincerity in her every gesture. Trevor hurries in suit, jacket half on phone, pinned to his ear. He's distracted, barely acknowledging Evelyn's smile. On his phone, he's discussing investor pitches, referencing seed funding and massive scaling. She gently reminds him, there's breakfast. He waves her off, I'll grab something on the way. He mutters and disappears out the door. The loneliness in that kitchen hits Evelyn like a brick. She stares at the untouched plates, thinking how they used to share jokes in the mornings. Now Trevor is off chasing a billionaire's dream, talking about disrupting industries with the same fervor he once reserved for her, late for work. Evelyn locks up and drives to the local community center, where she volunteers teaching art classes to seniors. She adores the older generation's stories, their life lessons. They notice the joy missing from her eyes these days. One spunky, retiree, Doris, even pulls Evelyn aside to ask, "Everything all right at home, honey? You look worn." Evelyn offers a brave smile. "Just normal pregnancy, ups and downs," she lies. Truth is, she feels overlooked, overshadowed by Trevor's relentless ambition. Back home that evening, dinner is cold by the time Trevor returns. He's accompanied by Veronica Lake, introduced as a consultant for his startup. Veronica is dazzling, expensive heels, impeccable hair, a commanding confidence. She offers Evelyn a casual handshake, eyes scanning the house as if assessing its market value. Evelyn notices the faint whiff of perfume clinging to Trevor's collar. During dinner, Veronica dominates the conversation. name-dropping influential people, hinting at big deals on the horizon. Evelyn quietly picks at her food. She tries to ask simple questions about the baby's crib or a potential weekend getaway. But Trevor is enthralled by Veronica's talk of angel investors and Silicon Valley partnerships. Evelyn's heart aches when Trevor laughs at Veronica's jokes, ignoring Evelyn's quiet interjections. She feels like an outsider in her own home. The more Veronica talks, the more glaring it becomes. She's everything Evelyn isn't. Flashy, unapologetic, worldly. Meanwhile, Evelyn struggles with morning sickness and grocery bills. That night after Veronica leaves, Evelyn asks Trevor, "She seems close to you. Are you sure it's all business?" Trevor dismisses her concern with a tense smile. "Don't be insecure. She's here to help us become a billionaire company. Trust me, but trust is fragile, especially when Evelyn finds lipstick smudges on a wine glass that was supposedly hers. Or when Trevor's phone lights up at midnight with messages from VL. She wants to keep the peace. She's pregnant. She needs stability for their growing family. Yet the seeds of betrayal are already sprouting, twisting her stomach in knots. The injustice intensifies daily, building toward a heartbreak she never imagines possible. Somewhere in the background, that ominous question lingers. How far would Trevor go for success, and who might he leave behind? Tensions rise. Evelyn's routine becomes a delicate balancing act. Prenatal appointments, volunteering, and preserving a facade of marital bliss. Trevor's once endearing ambition morphs into an obsession. He talks of forging partnerships with top-tier investors and even brags about meeting a prominent billionaire from the tech world, drawing parallels to Mark Cuban or Jeff Bezos. All the while, Veronica appears more frequently, offering advice that often belittles Evelyn's simpler lifestyle. She mocks Evelyn's comfortable clothes, suggests expensive maternity wear. To maintain an image, Evelyn tries to brush it off, focusing on her baby's health, but the humiliation accumulates in small, painful jabs. One evening, Evelyn attempts to share an ultrasound photo with Trevor. He barely glances at it, busily scanning an email. Frustration bubbles up in her chest. "You're not here anymore," she blurts, tears welling in her eyes. Trevor sets down his phone. "I'm doing this for us," he insists though. His tone is defensive. "We can't live on a volunteer teacher's income forever. I want a better life for our child." Yet what kind of life includes a father who's never present? Evelyn doesn't say it aloud, but the thought torments her. She confides in Logan Parker, a longtime friend who once served with Trevor in a mentorship program. Logan sees the strain in Evelyn's eyes. Quietly, he advises her to keep a record of finances and to protect herself just in case. It sounds ominous, but she trusts Logan's sincerity. Meanwhile, Veronica's influence grows. She invites Trevor to exclusive charity galas, introducing him to well-known faces from finance, entertainment, and even politics. Photos surface on social media. Trevor in tuxedo, Veronica in dazzling gowns. Evelyn is absent at home with swollen ankles, flipping through the same pictures in tears. Then comes the first major blow. Trevor announces he's putting a second mortgage on their home to secure a last-minute bridge loan for the startup. Evelyn is stunned. That house represents their future, a safe haven for the baby. She protests. He argues, voices escalate. Eventually, Trevor plays the guilt card. "Don't you believe in me?" In our dream, it ends with Evelyn reluctantly signing papers she doesn't fully understand. She feels cornered, powerless, like this is no longer about them as partners, but about Trevor chasing a wild fantasy. Veronica, overseeing the paperwork, gives Evelyn a condescending smile, as if to say, "He's mine now in every sense." On the drive home from the bank, Evelyn stares out the window. She cradles her pregnant belly, grappling with fear for the child's future. In her mind, the question looms. Is she just being naive, or is her entire world about to collapse? That night, she dreams of a faceless figure ripping away her newborn, laughing. She wakes up trembling, only to find Trevor's side of the bed empty again. The clock reads 3 a.m. His phone buzzes in the kitchen. Another late-night text from Veronica. The emotional injustice thickens, layering heartbreak upon heartbreak. Evelyn wonders how much longer she can bear it. Several weeks pass, each day heavier than the last. Evelyn's baby bump is now noticeable, drawing the attention of kind neighbors and her students at the community center. Strangers congratulate her on the upcoming child. Yet behind closed doors, her marriage erodes. Small humiliations pile up. Veronica accidentally texts Evelyn a photo of Trevor and her at a lavish after-party, both of them smiling intimately. When Evelyn confronts Trevor, he shrugs. "It's just business, Ev. Stop making a scene," she quietly retreats. eyes burning with tears, and then comes the night of the big investor pitch, an event. Trevor insists changes everything. He invites Evelyn at the last minute more for appearances than genuine support. She arrives wearing a simple, modest dress, hair pulled back in a neat bun. She feels out of place in a crowd of sleek suits and glittering gowns. As Trevor presents his slides, Veronica stands at his side like a co-host confidently fielding questions. Evelyn sits in the audience, stomach churning. The pitch ends, applause erupts, and potential backers swarm. Trevor, he basks in it. Evelyn approaches to offer a genuine hug, but he's too busy. Her outstretched arms go unnoticed. Veronica seizes the moment, hooking her arm through Trevor's. "Trevor, darling, we must talk numbers with Mr. Langford," she purrs, guiding him away from Evelyn. A hush of pitying stares follow Evelyn, as if everyone sees what's happening except the two who should matter most. Logan Parker, present to observe, steps in. "You deserve better," he whispers. Evelyn forces a smile. "I'm fine, I want to go home." She slips out quietly, unnoticed by Trevor or Veronica. Outside, the rain pours. Evelyn trudges through puddles to hail a cab, tears mixing with the downpour. The injustice is suffocating. She never envisioned being so alone at this stage of her life. She wonders if Trevor even remembers her doctor's appointment next week. Doubt gnaws at her heart. Inside the taxi, she scrolls through her phone, landing on wedding photos. She recalls how Trevor used to beam at her, used to hold her hand like she was his entire world. Where did that go? The driver glances at her in the rearview mirror, noticing the sadness. He says nothing, but his sympathetic eyes speak volumes. By the time she reaches home, Trevor is nowhere to be found. The startup party must still be raging. Evelyn lights a small bedside lamp. She stares at the crib frame leaning against the wall. Unassembled, in a moment of clarity, she realizes she's all this baby has truly. Her tears dry. She rests a hand on her belly, whispering, "It's you and me, little one." But that flicker of resolve comes too late to stop the avalanche looming. The next weeks will bring revelations that shatter her illusions entirely, pushing her deeper into betrayal and eventually forging the unstoppable steel of her spirit. The seeds of heartbreak are sown. Soon they'll sprout into devastating consequence. Not long after the investor pitch, Evelyn discovers an unlabeled envelope in her mailbox. Inside are grainy photographs, Trevor and Veronica exiting an upscale hotel, arms wrapped around each other. Date stamped from weeks ago. Evelyn's heart hammers. She can't breathe. Adrenaline surges and her mind spins with 1,000 questions. She confronts Trevor that night. He dismisses it as tabloid nonsense. Veronica needed help with a drunk client, he claims. Evelyn senses the lie, but she lacks proof beyond those damning images. Trevor flips the script, accusing her of invading his privacy, sowing distrust. The argument escalates until she's shaking, clinging to the edge of sanity. Logan calls her the next day. "We should talk," he says. They meet at a quiet diner over black coffee. Logan reveals a piece of Trevor's past she never knew. Trevor once nearly bankrupted his father's contracting business to chase a quick investment scheme. Only a last-minute bailout from an old family friend saved him. "He's willing to risk anything when he sees a chance at big money," Logan says gravely. "I didn't think he'd do it to you too." Evelyn's eyes fill with tears. She feels betrayed twice, once by her husband's affair, and again by not knowing the darkest corners of his ambition. Suddenly, pieces fall into place. The second mortgage. The hush-hush investor deals the endless nights out with Veronica. Could Trevor be gambling everything again, only bigger? Could he be using Veronica's connections to secure that billionaire dream, even if it cost him his marriage? This revelation rips open Evelyn's perspective. Trevor's actions aren't a passing fling or random midlife crisis. They're rooted in a pattern of high-stakes risk-taking, fueled by a craving for status. All those quiet flags she'd pushed aside come roaring back in stark clarity. Meanwhile, Veronica escalates. She publicly posts a selfie from Trevor's car, captioned with a sly innuendo about late-night business. Evelyn sees it, hands trembling. Is Veronica flaunting the affair on purpose, possibly? It's as if she wants to break Evelyn down entirely. At her next prenatal checkup, Evelyn can't focus on the doctor's instructions. Stress weighs on her and her blood pressure is high. The doctor warns her about the dangers of anxiety during pregnancy. Evelyn forces a smile, but her mind is miles away, spinning with betrayal and an uncertain future. That night, she tries to approach Trevor gently. She explains her fears for the baby, how stress is hurting her health. He's agitated, phone buzzing with endless notifications. "We're on the brink of a massive deal," he insists. "Just hold on a bit longer." Once I close this round, everything will be fine. Yet something in his eyes betrays panic, not confidence. Evelyn realizes he's trapped in a spiral. She wants to save him, but how can she save a man who's lying to her face day after day? This new perspective weighs heavily. Trevor isn't just unfaithful. He's reckless enough to shatter them both. And that knowledge is about to set the stage for an even bigger collapse. Evelyn wrestles with what to do next. She has Logan's warnings echoing in her mind, plus photographic proof of Trevor's betrayal. Yet she's carrying his child, still clinging to the hope he'll snap out of it. In a quiet moment, she gathers baby clothes gifted by neighbors, tiny onesies, pastel blankets. Tears slip down her face as she wonders, can she raise this baby alone? Late one evening, she tries to talk to Trevor calmly, hoping vulnerability might break through his guarded facade. She types keywords: Harrington Group offshore holdings, Lorena Cross hedge fund connections, tax evasion scandal. Each search yields partial truths and speculation. Nothing concrete enough for a legal slam dunk. She sips a cup of decaf tea, trying to calm her nerves. Her phone buzzes. It's Tessa Vaughn, an old friend from college who now practices family law in Boston. They haven't spoken in ages, but Catherine mustered the courage to text her earlier, hinting at marital trouble. Alone in the dimly lit living room, Evelyn stares at the wall. The old wedding photograph remains on the mantel, him in a charcoal tux, her in a flowing ivory gown. It feels like a relic from another life. A swirl of anger, heartbreak, and fear builds in her chest. She grips her phone, resisting the urge to call Logan or anyone else. She must face this with her own strength, at least for now. Days pass and Evelyn decides to do some detective work. She visits the office building Trevor claimed as their startup headquarters. Inside, she finds only a skeleton staff, half-empty desks, scattered boxes. Something's off. A receptionist admits their finances are shaky. Veronica hasn't been around in weeks. Evelyn feels a chill. If Veronica's not here, where is she plotting? Desperate for clarity, Evelyn begs Logan to share more. He reveals rumored talk of Trevor forging a partnership with a shady investment group, exchanging intangible future equity for immediate cash. The risk is enormous, like mortgaging tomorrow's success with no safety net. If it fails, it'll sink them all. One quiet Sunday, Evelyn stumbles upon the documents, bank statements, credit card debts, new credit lines in both Trevor's and her names. She realizes she's been signed as a co-guarantor. The magnitude of betrayal knocks the wind out of her. Her hands shake as she imagines losing the house, the car. Everything while also carrying the child Trevor claims to protect. She corners Trevor when he returns that night, waving the papers. Voice trembling with rage, he tries to shift blame, claims it is for the baby's future. She demands the truth. Is there an affair? Is Veronica more than a consultant? He can't meet her eyes. That silence is answer enough. But before she can press further, Trevor's phone pings. A text from Veronica: hurry. He wants to invest now. He snatches the phone, guilt and excitement warring on his face. Evelyn feels the final cracks in her heart. The hidden past and present collide. She understands she's dealing with a man consumed by greed and a mistress who won't rest until Evelyn is humiliated or gone. A late-night knock at the door startles Evelyn from uneasy sleep. She opens it to find Veronica standing on the porch, expression triumphant. The audacity leaves Evelyn speechless. Veronica steps inside uninvited, glancing around with a smirk. Trevor's phone died, she says, tossing a business card on the table. We have urgent paperwork for tomorrow's investor meeting. He told me to drop this off. Evelyn's anger surges, but she forces composure. Leave it and go, she says, her tone steady. But Veronica lingers, eyes flicking to Evelyn's belly. She sneers, voice dripping with contempt. He's sacrificing everything for that baby. But you've done nothing to help. You don't even understand his vision. You're holding him back. Her gaze is razor sharp, silently mocking Evelyn's pregnant frame. Evelyn stands tall, though her heart pounds. I'm his wife. We share everything, good or bad. You're just the chaos he invited in. Veronica's lip curls. She leans in, whispering, don't pretend you're relevant here. Trevor's future is bigger than you and bigger than this. Child, that final word stings. Evelyn clenches her fist, but she refuses to be provoked. She steps back, pointing to the door. Get out, a sly grin spreads across Veronica's face. Sure, she says, heading out. But remember, you opened this door a long time ago by letting him slip away. She disappears into the night, leaving Evelyn shaken to her core. After Veronica leaves, Evelyn can't sleep. She flips through the stack of paper Veronica left page after page of financial data, investor notes, and a signature line requiring Trevor and co-founder's spouse to sign them. She sees her name typed neatly underneath. Anger flares. She's done living in the dark. First thing next morning, Evelyn meets Logan at a local coffee shop. She spreads the documents across the table. Logan frowns. These deals are insane. They're tying you to massive debt. If Trevor fails, concern etched on his face, he asks, "What are you going to do?" Evelyn steels herself. "I'm not signing. In fact, I want out." She's determined to protect her child, even if that means walking away from Trevor's sinking ship. She never thought she'd consider divorce or separation, but the stakes are too high. Logan guides her to a lawyer he trusts. She sits through a tense consultation, learning about her options legally, separating finances, establishing custody, even disclaiming involvement in the startup. Her heart feels heavy, but a spark of empowerment ignites. Perhaps reclaiming her freedom is the only way forward. That very evening, she confronts Trevor with the legal forms. "I won't sign your deals," she says firmly, "and I can't stay in this marriage if you keep choosing her, choosing greed over us." Trevor's face contorts. Rage, panic, and maybe regret flash across his features. He pleads for more time, vows. The big money is near. But Evelyn stands resolute. "I won't be your collateral." This bombshell triggers the next wave of chaos because Trevor and Veronica won't surrender their ambitions without a fight. Unbeknownst to Evelyn, a plan is already in motion to publicly shame her, pushing her to the breaking point. And that plan will spark the epic collapse right before she rises stronger than they ever imagined. A grand gala funded by new investors is set at the prestigious Aurora Hotel downtown. The city's elite arrive in sleek cars, stepping onto a crimson carpet beneath blazing spotlights. Inside, shimmering glass sculptures and live classical music create an atmosphere of wealth and power. Trevor, wearing a tailored suit, stands near the entrance, alongside Veronica, greeting guests with confident smiles. Evelyn is there too, despite her better judgment, invited last minute by Trevor's business partner, who insists on showcasing unity. She wears a hand-me-down evening gown that, while elegant, pales next to Veronica's custom designer creation. She tries to hold her head high, though an uneasy feeling gnaws at her. She's greeted with polite nods. Some guests whisper, eyes darting between Evelyn's growing baby bump and Veronica's close proximity to Trevor. The tension is tangible, a stage set for inevitable drama. Partway through the evening, a hush sweeps the crowd as Trevor takes the microphone. He starts speaking about his company's bright future, dropping phrases like billion-dollar valuation, global impact, and tech revolution. Veronica stands by, nodding and smiling, receiving applause as if she's co-founder. Evelyn stands at the periphery, feeling invisible. Then comes the first wave of betrayal. A massive screen behind Trevor lights up with a promotional video. It highlights the startup's story, but frames Veronica as the backbone. Pictures of them traveling for deal signings, laughing at upscale mixers. No mention of Evelyn, nor her support or sacrifices. The audience claps politely, oblivious to the pain etched on Evelyn's face. A sudden shift. The video cuts to a personal moment. Grainy phone footage from inside Evelyn's home. She's seen in casual clothes, heavily pregnant, anxiously questioning Trevor about finances. Her tone is distressed, her eyes red. The crowd sees her meltdown out of context, gasps ripple through the room, a few stifled laughs. The clip ends abruptly, leaving Evelyn humiliated before hundreds of strangers. Trevor, stunned by the reveal, glances at Veronica in confusion. Veronica only shrugs, feigning innocence. Evelyn's cheeks burn. She realizes this is orchestrated. A savage move to depict her as unstable, maybe to discredit her attempts at cutting off Trevor's funds. She clutches the edge of a table to steady herself, tears brimming. In that moment, she feels crushed, betrayed by the man she once loved, publicly ridiculed by his mistress, scorned by the audience. It's a heartbreak so profound, she wants to vanish. She turns and flees the ballroom, ignoring curious stares. Outside, the city lights swirl. Her chest tightens. She can't breathe. She feels the baby kick, a reminder, and she's not alone in this fight. Still, the wave of despair is overwhelming, the first catastrophic blow. She believes she could separate quietly, protect herself. But Veronica struck first, shredding her dignity in front of everyone who matters in Trevor's new world. It's a brutal collapse. Yet as tears stream down her face, Evelyn senses a flicker inside her anger, forging a new fire. She's done being the silent casualty. Somewhere in this darkness, she'll find the will to fight back. Evelyn fights back tears in the hotel's deserted corridor, the muffled sounds of applause drifting from the ballroom. She contemplates escaping to the parking garage, vanishing, but a gentle hand touches her shoulder. Logan Parker. He offers a consoling look. "I saw the video," he says quietly. That was low even for Trevor and Veronica. Evelyn can barely form words. Why would they do that? "I never agreed to any filming in my house." Logan, jaw-clenched, explains that technology used by Trevor's startup might allow covert recordings, or perhaps Veronica set up a phone. Either way, they weaponized Evelyn's private pain for public humiliation. "They're discrediting you," Logan says. "So if you contest finances or custody, they can point to this meltdown as evidence you're unstable." Evelyn's blood chills. "They want to break me," she realizes. Her eyes narrow, but I won't let them. Logan nods, handing her a business card for a high-powered attorney named Miriam Chow. She's known for tough negotiations, especially against unethical tech deals. "I can set a meeting, but you have to be ready for war." Later that night, Evelyn sits on her bed, phone in hand, scrolling through hateful comments on social media. Some call her ungrateful. Others imply she's milking Trevor's success. She wants to scream. She sets the phone aside, focusing instead on the baby's gentle kicks. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "I promise. I'll protect you." Next day, she meets Miriam Chow. The lawyer's approach is direct. Gather all evidence, freeze joint accounts if possible, and file a restraining order against any further unauthorized recordings. Evelyn flinches at the aggressiveness, but recognizes the necessity. "I'm tired of living in fear," she says. "Let's do it." Thus begins the second catastrophic blow, a legal onslaught that pushes Trevor to extremes. When he's served with papers at the office, he rages, calling Evelyn vindictive in front of his staff. Veronica fans the flames, labeling Evelyn as a gold digger who's now sabotaging the startup. Tensions erupt, prompting a wave of negative press about a scandalous domestic feud. Evelyn, battered by public judgment, nearly falters. The stress triggers early contractions. One evening, sending her to the hospital in a panic, doctors manage to stabilize her condition, warning that extreme stress can jeopardize the pregnancy. She weeps silently, wishing she could snap her fingers and vanish from this nightmare. But in that hospital bed, she also feels a fierce maternal instinct. This child relies on her strength. She can't crumble, she must adapt, fight, endure. While recovering, she calls Logan and Miriam, telling them she's all in. No more half measures, steadily a plan forms. They'll track the startup's shady deals, hold Trevor accountable for the second mortgage, and gather enough leverage to ensure Evelyn's financial safety and custody rights. A quiet resolve blossoms in her chest. She's no corporate shark, but she's learned that to protect what she loves, she must step into the arena. Trevor and Veronica wanted her humiliated. Instead, they've awakened a mother's wrath. Behind the scenes, she begins searching for a new path, one that might just turn their assault into her advantage. Weeks pass. Evelyn recovers carefully, managing stress for the baby's sake. She shifts her energy into practical steps, consulting with Miriam Chow about separate bank accounts, forging a personal credit line, and quietly building a safety net. Meanwhile, a wave of rumors hits the tech community. Trevor's startup is running out of runway. Veronica scrambles to keep illusions afloat, boasting of imminent funding. But insiders whisper that big investors have grown wary of drama and negative publicity. The fiasco at the gala damaged their credibility. Sensing weakness, Evelyn strikes a small but critical blow. She requests an official audit of the startup's finances, citing her co-liability on the mortgage. With a judge's order, she gains limited access to the company's books. She's shocked by the staggering debt and questionable transactions. Trevor and Veronica are cornered. That's when the third catastrophic blow lands. Trevor and Veronica's lead investor pulls out, leaving a gaping financial hole. Employees quit. The company spirals toward potential bankruptcy. In desperation, Trevor tries to blame Evelyn for bad press, scaring investors away. But the numbers don't lie. He's the one who overpromised and overspent in the chaos. Evelyn sees a glimmer of opportunity. She meets a local garment manufacturer who once collaborated with her mother, a seamstress. Inspired by her unborn child, she sketches a line of practical, stylish maternity pieces. Nothing fancy, just comfortable clothes for expectant mothers who can't afford designer prices. It's a gamble. She invests what little savings she has. She enlists the help of local seamstresses, promising to pay fairly once initial sales roll in. She calls it Rosamond & Co. after the child's middle name she's chosen in secret. "This is for us," she tells her growing belly. Despite having no illusions about overnight success, Evelyn pours her soul into the project. She's tapping into her heartbreak, transforming it into creativity and empathy. Word spreads among her community center, acquaintances, and local new moms. They love the concept, affordable maternity wear with a personal touch. Orders trickle in online. Trevor hears rumors of Evelyn's budding venture. He sneers that it's a hobby project. Veronica mocks her on social media, posting comparisons to cheap fabrics and outdated styles. Evelyn ignores them. She's discovered a new sense of purpose, separate from Trevor's world. Logan, ever supportive, arranges a small pop-up event to showcase Rosamond and Co. Among the guests is a well-known fashion blogger who takes an interest in Evelyn's story, the betrayed wife forging her own path. The blogger posts a glowing review praising the authenticity behind the brand. Evelyn sees a flicker of potential. She's not just protecting herself, she's building something meaningful. The comeback is subtle, overshadowed by Trevor and Veronica's meltdown. But it's real, day by day. Garment by garment, she's forging a new identity. As she finalizes her brand's website, she whispers a vow. They might have mocked me, but they won't break me. In that vow lies the seed of unstoppable determination, fuel for the confrontation that's hurtling toward them all. The day of confrontation dawns in a blaze of tension. Trevor's startup is teetering on collapse. Employees gather in a cramped conference room, anxiously awaiting an emergency meeting. Veronica stands at the front, arms folded. Her expression a mask of forced calm. Trevor paces, phone in hand, trying to salvage last-minute capital. Suddenly, the door opens, revealing Evelyn with Logan and Miriam in tow. A hush falls. The employees shift uncomfortably, glancing between the estranged couple. Trevor's face darkens. This is private, he snaps. But Miriam brandishes a legal document. My client has a right to be here. You involved her finances without consent. Veronica steps forward, venom in her voice. If you're here to gloat, spare us. We're on the brink of a deal. Evelyn meets her gaze. I'm here for clarity, nothing else. If there's debt tied to my name, I deserve transparency. She keeps her composure, refusing to be rattled by Veronica's hostility. With employees watching wide-eyed, Trevor tries a last-minute slide presentation, claiming the company just needs a cash infusion. He glances around for support, but eyes drop to the floor. The once adoring staff looks exhausted, uncertain. Veronica's phone buzzes. She checks it, brow furrowing bad news. Presumably, Evelyn stands quietly until Trevor finishes. She then lays out a folder of evidence: mounting debts, missed payroll taxes, hidden consulting fees paid to Veronica's personal account. Gasps ripple through the room. This is what you kept from me, Evelyn says softly. From all of us, Veronica lashes out. You're killing our dream. You want him to fail? Evelyn's voice trembles with controlled rage. I never wanted him to fail. I wanted a husband who wouldn't sell our future for a pipe dream. I wanted honesty. She reveals the second mortgage documents, her own forged signatures on some lines. Employees stare in shock, realizing the moral rot at the top. Trevor tries to stammer an excuse, but it falls flat. Miriam steps in, stating that legal action will follow if immediate restitution or a workable plan isn't presented. The room feels like it might explode under the weight of tension. Then the side character switch. One of Trevor's top engineers, Carter Reed, stands and announces he's quitting, effective immediately. He's also talking to a journalist about unethical management practices. Another employee joins him, citing Veronica's manipulative behavior. The rest stand in solidarity, leaving Trevor and Veronica isolated. Veronica spins, eyes blazing. You traitors. We're on the verge of greatness, but no one believes it anymore. As staff file out, Evelyn meets Trevor's gaze one last time. She sees the desperation in his eyes, a man who gambled everything and lost. He opens his mouth, but she lifts her hand. Enough, she murmurs. This ends here. The meeting disbands in chaos. Trevor collapses into a chair, head in his hands. Veronica storms off, cursing Evelyn. Steps away, Logan steadying her. A swirl of finality hangs in the air. The confrontation is done. Or so Evelyn thinks. Little does she realize someone hasn't played their final card yet, and the next twist will come from a direction she least expects. Evelyn heads home, relieved the confrontation is over. She hopes this meltdown signals the end of Trevor and Veronica's torment. Yet a gnawing unease persists. She busies herself folding baby clothes, wishing for normalcy. Later that evening, a courier arrives with an envelope. Inside is a letter from an upscale retail chain. They've stumbled upon Rosamond and Co. through social media and express interest in a small trial order for their maternity section. It's not life-changing money, but it's a foot in the door. Evelyn's heart soars. Her brand might stand on its own. After all, she calls Logan, eager to share the good news. Before she can finish, his voice grows serious. Evelyn, we've got a problem. Miriam just got word that Trevor's contesting the separation of finances. He claims you owe part of the business's debt, citing a partnership agreement you supposedly signed. Evelyn's breath catches. What partnership agreement? I never signed anything. Logan's silence speaks volumes. We suspect forgery again, but it's filed in a way that might drag out in court. He's leveraging the possibility. You're also responsible for the startup's collapse. It's a last-ditch move. Fury ignites in Evelyn's chest. Trevor's desperation has reached new lows. She wonders if Veronica orchestrated this. Another wave of stress threatens to consume her, but she steels herself. We'll fight it, she says, voice resolute. I won't be blackmailed into paying for his vanity project. She meets Miriam early the next morning. They sift through legal jargon, determining a countersuit is necessary to prove fraud. Evelyn's baby is due in a matter of weeks. Time is slipping away. The thought of battling in court while in labor terrifies her. Still, she refuses to back down. Meanwhile, Veronica resurfaces online. She posts cryptic messages about women who profit from pity and fake entrepreneurs riding coattails. She tags Rosamond and Co. in a snide comment mocking the designs as bargain basement style. Evelyn exhales, reminding herself not to engage in petty social media wars. She has bigger battles to fight. As she finalizes legal documents, a sudden pang seizes her abdomen. Pain radiates around her belly. Alarmed, she rushes to call her doctor. He advises rest, suspecting stress-induced contractions. She's told to avoid any major strain or emotional upheaval. But how can she rest? The walls feel like they're closing in, financial threats, social humiliation, impending motherhood, all merging into a perfect storm. She drifts to sleep that night, tears staining her pillow. Morning light brings a visitor, Carter Reed, the engineer who left Trevor's startup. He arrives with a flash drive of documents. I felt guilty about everything he says. Veronica manipulated the video that humiliated you. This drive has raw footage. It might help prove your innocence. Evelyn's eyes widen. Raw footage from inside my home? Carter nods, grim-faced. Veronica bragged about setting you up. I couldn't stomach it anymore. Evelyn grips the drive like a lifeline. This could dismantle Trevor's narrative. A wave of gratitude washes over her. Maybe the scales of justice are tilting in her favor. Yet she senses a final confrontation looming. Veronica and Trevor are cornered. Desperate people do desperate things, and the greatest betrayal might still be waiting to strike. Evelyn, armed with Carter's flash drive schedules, an urgent meeting with Miriam and Logan. They gather in Miriam's office, a sleek downtown suite with expansive windows. Setting up a laptop, they watch the unedited video. It's shocking. Veronica is seen placing a hidden camera in Evelyn's living room, whispering that she wants ammunition against the pregnant wife. Then clips of Evelyn, exhausted, tearful, are spliced to craft a misleading meltdown. This is the smoking gun they need to prove defamation and breach of privacy. Evelyn's hands tremble with anger and relief. Miriam immediately drafts a legal motion to present the evidence, aiming to crush Trevor's fraudulent claims. You have a strong case now, Miriam says with a confident nod. They won't walk away unscathed. The next day, the parties convene at an impromptu hearing. Trevor arrives looking gaunt, his once sharp suit wrinkled. Veronica stands beside him, all eyes darting nervously. Her bravado has faded. Evelyn with Logan and Miriam steps up to the table. The tension in the small courtroom is suffocating. Miriam presents the raw footage. Gasps ripple among those present, including the judge. Veronica flushes, eyes darting to Trevor, who clenches his jaw in outrage. Evelyn can almost see his realization. They've lost their final card. Veronica tries to spin a story of security concerns and claims the footage was taken out of context. But the evidence is undeniable. The judge rebukes them, warning of serious legal consequences for forgery and defamation. Trevor hangs his head. For a moment, Evelyn feels a pang of pity. This is the man she loved now, undone by greed and betrayal. Emerging from the courtroom, an eerie calm envelops Evelyn. The press waits outside, cameras flash. Microphones thrust forward, capturing every angle of the scandal. Before Evelyn can speak, Veronica snaps, "You'll regret this," and bolts for the exit, pushing past reporters. Trevor lingers, meeting Evelyn's gaze one last time. Tears threaten to form, but he says nothing. Then he too walks away, overshadowed by the cameras. Logan places a reassuring hand on Evelyn's shoulder. "You did it. You stood your ground." She nods, exhaling a shaky breath. Yet her heart feels heavy. This victory, though necessary, has torn her life apart. The father of her child is effectively destroyed, and the mistress who tormented her might face criminal charges. The cost is enormous. In the following days, the media buzz intensifies. People champion Evelyn's courage. Rosamond and Co. sees a surge in online traffic. Orders pour in from sympathetic mothers who see her as a heroine. Evelyn is grateful, though she'd trade the notoriety for a peaceful life if she could. One evening, exhausted from responding to supportive messages, she feels a sudden sharp contraction. Her water breaks. The baby is coming earlier than expected. Panic collides with excitement. Logan rushes her to the hospital while Miriam calls the doctor. Evelyn grips the car seat, heart pounding. No matter the chaos behind her, nothing matters more than bringing her child safely into this world. Unaware that the greatest test of her heart is about to unfold, she steps into the maternity ward. The final confrontation has ended, but the story's not over. A new life is arriving, and with it, the seeds of a future neither Trevor nor Veronica could ever steal. Under the harsh fluorescent lights of the hospital, Evelyn labors for hours. Waves of pain crash over her. Logan stands by, offering ice chips and words of encouragement. A compassionate nurse, Joanne, gently coaches Evelyn through the contractions. Despite the swirl of tension and heartbreak that's dominated her life, this moment feels pure. No cameras, no lawsuits, just life forging ahead in the most primal way. Finally, with a final push and a guttural cry, the baby emerges, a tiny girl with a fierce wail. Tears blur Evelyn's vision as she cradles her daughter's fragile body. She's overwhelmed by a rush of love so powerful it eclipses every sorrow. She names the child Rosamond Faith Grant, whispering, "You're my miracle," as the infant's fingers curl around hers. In the quiet afterbirth moments, the nurses slip out to give her privacy. Logan, emotional, squeezes her hand. "You did it, Evelyn." She nods, exhaustion weighing her eyelids. The air is still almost peaceful. This, she thinks, is the true meaning of home love and safety in each other's arms. A soft knock interrupts them. Trevor stands at the doorway, eyes rimmed with guilt. He looks disheveled, carrying a small bouquet of wilted flowers. Logan tenses, but Evelyn nods, allowing Trevor to enter. He approaches timidly, tears brimming. "I heard you were in labor," he stammers, voice raw. "I'm sorry for everything. I never wanted this." Evelyn gazes at her child, remembering the betrayal, the humiliation, the near financial ruin. She steels herself. "You need help. Trevor, help. I can't give any more. I'll never keep you from your daughter if you truly want to be a father. But don't expect me to erase what you did." He nods, tears sliding down his cheeks. She almost feels his heart break. But a protective barrier now guards her. He gently touches Rosamond's tiny hand. For a moment, father and child share a fragile bond. Then he backs away as if unworthy of this scene. Logan follows him into the hallway. Evelyn hears low voices, tension in every syllable. But she closes her eyes and focuses on her daughter. She's done fighting for scraps of Trevor's love. She's found a deeper purpose. In the coming days, Rosamond's presence bathes Evelyn in fresh hope. Friends and neighbors rally to support her. Her online store thrives. More retailers inquire about stocking Rosamond and Co. The future feels brighter than it ever did under Trevor's shadow. Meanwhile, legal ramifications loom for Trevor and Veronica. The judge schedules follow-up hearings. Veronica is rumored to have fled the state, trying to dodge potential charges. Trevor faces possible penalties for his role in forging financial documents. Evelyn cooperates with authorities through Miriam, but her main focus is motherhood. With each sunrise, the bitterness recedes. She invests her energy into healing, bonding with Rosamond, and growing her fledgling business. The final quiet lesson takes root in her heart. She doesn't win by ruining Trevor or Veronica, but by living her truth without them. In that gentle closure, Evelyn finally breathes free until the last unexpected shock threatens to reopen old wounds. A month passes. Evelyn settles into a new rhythm, balancing midnight feedings with brand management. Though exhaustion is constant, her spirit feels renewed. Rosamond and Co. experiences a surge in popularity when a well-known parenting blogger features Evelyn's designs, praising their practicality and heartwarming backstory. Orders skyrocket. At the same time, Trevor's world crumbles further. Legal repercussions intensify. He tries to negotiate a plea, returning what funds he can. Veronica is nowhere to be found. Whispers suggest she's living off the radar, possibly abroad. The scandal dims, overshadowed by other news. Life moves on. One afternoon, Evelyn prepares a small pop-up booth at a local maternity expo. Logan helps set up mannequins showcasing Rosamond and Co.'s newest line, mothers-to-be grandparents, and curious onlookers wander through praising the styles Evelyn holds Rosamond in a sling, greeting customers with genuine warmth. A sudden hush falls near the expo entrance. Veronica Lake strides in wearing oversized sunglasses and an equally large hat. She scans the booth, stopping when she spots Evelyn's setup. Gasps ripple among the crowd, some recognizing the infamous figure from tabloid headlines. Veronica's expression is unreadable. She approaches Evelyn's booth, ignoring the onlookers. Logan steps forward protectively, but Evelyn signals, "It's okay." Rosamond coos softly, oblivious to the tension. Veronica glances at the displayed garments, biting her lip. Her gaze lingers on Rosamond, eyes flicking with some complex emotion. "I came to see," she mutters, "all this fuss about your brand? I thought it was a joke." Evelyn, voice steady, replies, "It's real and it's mine." Veronica stands stiffly, shoulders tense. "I lost everything, you know. Investors' reputation. Trevor, they all turned on me once the lawsuit started. I can't get a job in this town." Her tone is bitter, but there's a fragile vulnerability beneath it. Evelyn exhales, torn between lingering anger and unexpected compassion. "You brought this on yourself. You humiliated me when I was at my weakest. Why are you here now?" Veronica's eyes dart away. Her voice wavers. "I don't know, I guess. I wanted to see how you did it, how you turned that humiliation into this." She gestures at the bustling booth, the supportive crowd, the success. Silence stretches. Then Evelyn speaks quietly. "I survived. I found my purpose." She glances down at Rosamond, "and I chose not to destroy myself with bitterness." Veronica's face twists, a storm of regret swirling in her eyes. She drops a shaky nod, then turns and walks off, leaving the expo as abruptly as she arrived. Logan steps beside Evelyn, uncertain how to feel. Evelyn simply holds Rosamond closer, heart pounding. The day ends on a hopeful note. Sales are strong, customers thrilled, and Evelyn leaves with a sense of profound relief. It's almost a perfect closure. Until she returns home, checks the mailbox, and finds a manila envelope with no return address. Inside is a typed note. Veronica wasn't the only one to blame. "If you want the full truth about Trevor's missing funds and who pulled his strings, meet me tomorrow night. Come alone." Enclosed is a series of suspicious bank records referencing an unknown account in Trevor's name. Evelyn's pulse races. A new wave of dread collides with curiosity. Is there another puppet master behind the fiasco? Another betrayal waiting in the shadows? She clutches the note, eyes burning with questions. Everything seemed resolved yet. Here lies the ultimate bombshell. For the first time, Evelyn grasps that her story isn't over. A second act looms, darker and more complex than she ever imagined. The screen fades to black, leaving viewers with one final question. Would you open that door again, or is some truth better left buried?